Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for coming back, and as always, huge massive thank you for the support. I really do appreciate it. Today, firstly, I'm just going to apologise about the video going up late. I did make a video earlier today, but when it came to editing, the camera kept going in and out blurry, which I didn't catch when I was making the video. So I've scrapped that and come back. So I will show you those cards I made with the Peace on Earth pad, like I said I would last time. But I've come back in with this card topper pad, which is the Christmas Cuties one. This is this year's edition, still in stock. I did check. Now these it's just a pad full of toppers. They all stack really nice and neatly, so they don't get all dog-eared or anything. You can keep them all nicely on a shelf. They're perfect for any leftover bits of card. You know, if you've got the Christmas blockbuster and you've done 4 6x6 cards, and you might have 3 toppers on that Christmas sheet, then you're bound to find something in there here, or there's another one as well, classic. I think it might be Christmas classics or something like that, but it'll be a more sort of grown-up version. But these are perfect for that, as well as using with your sort of normal cardstock, your A5 pads, your Duo Design pads, any papers left over from any of your other themed picture perfect pads. You know, these are perfect for that. So I thought I'd come back in with that. So let's start by bringing in a piece of a 6x12 300 GSM cardstock, and I've got the trimmer, and I'm just going to pop this up to the 1 inch mark, and I'm going to cut from 1 to 7. So I'm going to do one of those, well, I call it a reverse stepper, but I think it's really called an inverted stepper. But we're just going to do the same on the other side. So 1 inch along, and we'll cut in from 1 to 7. And then if I pop the blade out of the way, what I can do is between those cut lines, I can pop that down, and I can just pop a score in. So at 1 inch, at 2 inch, and then between those cut lines again at a 7 inch. This is just going to help me find them when I go to that scoreboard, although probably not the 7 inch one, if I'm honest with you. Let's pop that out of the way for a second. Let's bring my scoreboard in, and what I'm going to do is just go over that 1 inch and that 2 inch score line, and then I'm going to pop a 6 inch one to the cut line, so from the outside to the cut line, and then let's just turn that over a little bit, and then that 7 inch score line as well, we'll just put that in nicely as well. Okay, so it just makes a nice deep score line, just makes everything fold a little nicely. Oh, there goes the birthday boy. Thank you for all the birthday wishes yesterday. I did tell him. He rolled his eyes. He's had quite a good day yesterday. He did everything he likes to do, which is pretty much sleep and eat. He had a squeaky toy he destroyed. I washed his bed and he wasn't very happy about that, so he had to have his backup bed. But actually that does fit better in his cage, so in the end he was comfier. But Geronimo was winding him up by stealing his toy. But that's our card base there, so just give all those scores a really good burnish down, and then what you'll find is that that card wants to fold nice and neatly for us. Okay, so let's bring in a 6x6 Miri mat, and I'm going to start by taking 2 notches off of that 6 inch side, and then I'm going to turn it around and do 2 notches off of the inch, and then that's going to give us my nice little piece to go along there. I'm going to turn this around. Now normally what I would do is take this to 2 notches under the 5, but what I wanted to do is just take it to 5, and I just wanted to check this out because and let me just take 2 notches off of 1 inch, because some of the other ones I've done, it just seems like there's a wider gap here than I wanted, and I think I might keep that one at the 5 inch. No, I'm not. I'm going to do it at 2 notches under the 5. We'll keep going as we were. So let's just say, so that's 2 notches under 5 by 2 notches or 1/8 of an inch under 1. So let's just take that to, was that 5? Yeah. So I'm going to take that whole piece to 2 notches under 5. So just ignore that little sidebar. So we want another piece that's going to be 2 notches under 1, and then this piece in the middle is going to be 5 by 4. So we're going to go 2 notches under the 4 because it's already 2 notches under the 5, and that will slip down inside there, like so. Okay. And then for the cardstock, or for the decoration, I'm going to use this Picture Perfect Golden Oldies. And I wanted this red stars, because the ones that I'm using, let me show you the toppers I'm using. So I'm using the ones with these little cats and dogs on. So this is the one I'm using on this card, and then the next card I'm using this cute little dog. But obviously we've got all this red in here. I could go with browns if I wanted it to be a little bit more masculine. I'm probably going to come in with a border and one of the sentiments, but we'll worry about that later. For now, we're going to go with decorating these pieces and this piece here, all with this same paper. So I just need to cut this to 3/4 of an inch, and then we want a piece that's going to be 5 3/4. I could do with a sharper blade really, but I'm not going to. I think we'll be all right. And then again 3/4. I'm going to need to do that twice for these side pieces. And these side pieces need to be 4 3/4. I'm wondering now whether I should pick another piece to go in the middle. Let's have a little look. Ooh, let's go with that one. This is how quickly my mind changes when I'm crafting, because sometimes it seems like a great idea and then it occurs to you that it might not be. So this piece I'm doing at 3 3/4 by 4 3/4, and this is going to be the piece that goes inside there, and I think that's a good decision to change that up. Those pieces will go back into the pad. We'll pop that one out of the way for now. So now we just need to pop this together. And I'm going to be using the Dotty Tape pen and the Kalau all-purpose glue. And we'll just pop these together. Just popping all of these on, and you could do these plain sides plain cardstock if you wanted to, maybe emboss it. There is the Stringer Lights embossing folder, isn't there? There's also, if you managed to get it last year, might even still be in stock, I'm not sure, with the magazines. With one of the magazines there is a beautiful Merry Christmas script. Sorry, Henry. Somebody posted something through the door. So yeah, there's that one, which is super useful, and it looks beautiful, especially when you do it on the little book frames. But I'm not sure if that one's still available. Like I say, it was with one of the magazines. You'll have to check back through last year, because I had it at the beginning of the year, so must have been last year. Okay, so I'm just going to keep going with these, using the dotty tape pen, just because this is the paper. And we can pop all of these on. There we go. So now these are on. Let me just move that out of the way a second. What I can do is start to assemble these onto my card. Now I'm going on to cardstock. I can use that to kill out tacky glue, although I'll probably still use the dotty tape pen on these smaller bits. We're just going to pop that in and on. Got a lovely event going on at Hunkydory at the minute with the Christmas market, which I kind of had expected it just to be like sales stuff, more, you know, like offers and things, but there's some new things as well coming. Looks like tools, which is, you know, useful. There was a lovely glue holder Anne-Marie had yesterday. Wondering whether it would still hold this one upside down. But we will see. We'll see when they actually launch it. They've been really naughty with sneak peeks, so which is good to see. Oops, just put my finger on that glue. No, do you know, it's not my day. Okay, so what I can do with this glue is just, if I rub into it, what it does is it kind of dries but doesn't set on the actual board. And then what I should be able to do, once it's gone into these glue balls, is just wipe that away. This one's gone for a wander. Let's put that on nice and straight. Needs to go up a little bit. Back in the same place, one numpty. There we go. Okay, so that's how we're looking. Got to this point now. So at this point now, all we want to do is to decorate. So let's bring that card topper in. I did say I was going to be using that cat one. Just giving my card a shape because it's looked like it was trying to fold in on itself a bit. So we're going with our little cat. He's not a grumpy cat. He is just a cat. So he or she is going to go in there. And then I want this border. Let me just slide my knife under. Oh. And release those pips. And then I can cut that one out. There, so that's going to go there. I think we'll take our little cat here. We've got a cat button, so we'll pop that one up there. And of course we're going to go for Meowie Christmas, which may go along that border. Okay, so if I grab my guillotine, let's get rid of you for a second. edge off. And I want that to be at 5 3/4. So that's going to go across there quite nicely. Might have that to that side and that to that side. And then we can have some nice little gems down here. If you've got any of those little gold stars, or if you've got any of those gold stars in your goodie boxes, you could add them on for a bit of bling. I'm going to separate the little fine frame out. And I don't know if I want that actually. Does it look better within? So let me just so I can go to the top of my card here without affecting anything. But if I put that in, I'm going to lose that element of air underneath. So I think I'm going to leave that out like I said. Okay, so we've got the plan. Now I am going to be going with 2mm on these 2mm foam pads. So let's grab, trying to use some bits up around my desk here. So if I pop that in, I just want to go nowhere near that top. Well, I can go right on the edge of it, but we'll pop a piece on the bottom. This is the wider strips. So I'm just going to cut the piece off. And I'll use that purple glue stick just to give me a bit of wiggle room time. So I'm not sure why my camera was playing up earlier. Touch wood, it seems to have been alright on this one so far. Maybe it was the cardstock confusing it. I don't know. It's very frustrating now. Let me just grab my dirty rag. Very messy with my glues today, aren't I? There we go. And then this one is going to go in in the centre. Let me just bring it in. I've got a little bit of tissue. It's clean tissue. I was using it to clean the camera lens before I started, in case that was the problem. Just clean that excess glue off. Don't want it to cause me any problems later on. There we go. So then I think I'm going to come up 2mm again on here. Let's use these ones up. So again, I just want to be careful not to go too near the top. Put that one there, I think it's going to be fine. I was watching Anita's video yesterday with her goodie box. She had a good one. Very good goodie box. Had some lovely cards too. But then she always does, she's awesome. Okay, so we're just going to pop that in. If you are worried about getting that dead set in the middle, then just keep that frame that we took out. Let me just grab that from here. Oops, doesn't want to come. There we go. Just keep that frame, pop it back in, and then once you've got that in position, you can take it out again. Now this one, this border, I'm just going to pop a little bit of tacky glue on. I'm going flat on this one because we're going to have a bit of height on that sentiment. There it goes. Oops, moved. Just make sure I'm happy with that. And then I think I'll take these here and actually I'm going to cut that down a little smaller just in case this topper hangs over the edge. So these are a little bit sticky because these pads are extra sticky because I've been keeping them on my keyboard and they do get quite warm up there, and I think they don't like that quite too much. Let's pop our Meowie Christmas on there. Now I've got to hope I've put this foam pad on the right way. The day I'm having today, it's probably not going to be. Come there or thereabouts. I'm just tidying up those little pips. Now if you're sending this to someone special, maybe you've got someone who looks after your cat, or you know, while you go away over Christmas, you could always put another one from the little book of essential sentiments, and you could have, you know, friend, neighbour, whatever is in there. But I'm not. I'm going to use some gems. Now I'm just debating whether to go with some coloured ones, or I think the gold one is going to stand out better. Let's go for those really mirry ones, really bright mirry. I've also got some clear gems as well, which I've been itching to use, but I'm not going to use it on this one. Okay, so I'm just going to go with 3, I think, and 3 on this side. I think I'm just going to go with 3 in a row. So let's pick that big one there. Then we want 2 sort of smaller ones. It looks about the same size, to be fair. Let's try that one then. So it's going to be 3 the same size. That's fine. Difficult to tell with those ones, whether they seem quite a similar size. But that is going to be, technically it's card number 3, but for this video, card number 1. And that little inverted stepper. You've still got plenty of room for an insert inside. You can either just use the plain insert, you could use a trim me insert, or if you have the ability to download and print, you might find something from one of the magazines that might sort of fit in with this style a little bit. Let me pop that to the side and we'll get set up for card number 2. Okay, so for card number 2, I'm going to start by bringing in a piece of 6x12 300 GSM cardstock. And the first thing I'm going to do is cut this down to 3.5 across the short edge. So we've got a small piece there, and that's just going to go into the bit box. We'll leave that one as it is at the moment. And then I'm going to take another piece of 6x12 cardstock, and I'm going to bring in the scoreboard, and we're going to score at 1, 2 and 4, and then I'm going to turn this around and score at 3 and at 6. So if you've got the big board, you're going to be scoring at 1, 2, 4, 6, 9 and 12. And this is going to make, oh, I need this as well. We'll score this at the 6 inch, although I may cut this down a little. And you'll see why in a bit. So I'm going to make a faux stepper. So we're going to burnish all of these folds down, mountain and valley. And you're going to end up with this lovely little pair of steps, like so. And that will stand like so. So if you've got smaller toppers, you could easily go along and add a load along there. Let's give that a little burnish down. So this is going to come over the top of here. Probably going to cut it down some. I don't think I want it to be that high, but we will have a little feel of that once we have got this bit assembled. So I think the first thing we need to do is mat and layer on there, because we can't do anything else until that's done. So I know the length is 6 inches. So on another mirror mat, I'm just going to take 2 notches off of that 6 inch, and then I'm going to turn it around. And I'm going to start with the smallest piece, because it's easier to cut a small piece from a big piece than a small piece from a small piece. So that's 2 notches under the 1 by 2 notches under the 6. And then the next one is going to be 2 notches under the 2. So 2 notches under the 2 by 2 notches under the 6. And then this one is 2 notches under the 3. And that one's going to go on there. Like I say, we'll do the matting and layering on there when we know what size we want that to be. Now I'm going to use from this Christmas Cuties Duo Design Pad, and there is one with little dogs on. Where are you? Here. So we've got this green one with little terriers on, so little dogs on. And then I want the red striped piece. There we go. So I'm going to do the red stripe on the front and on the back, and then the green on the middle. So let's pop that in. So let's do 3/4 of an inch. It's going to be easier if I do it on this side. And then I'll cut the length down in a second, and then I want a piece to be 2 3/4 to the side, and then of course that's going to be 5 3/4 long. So that will go into the back, and again 5 3/4. There, and then this piece here is going to go across the middle, so we're not going to see an awful lot of it, but 1 3/4. We will get the hint that there is some dogs there. And again 5 3/4. So that is going to go across the middle like so. Like I say, you won't see a lot of this because you're going to have that piece going over the top. Let's pop that to the side for a second. Let's get these mounted on, and then we can move on. Again, because this is paper, we'll use our all-purpose glue and our dotty tape pen. And I think just next time I'll probably come back to this pad again. Make a couple more cards from it. Let's just pop onto there. How cute that terrier is. So a couple of you have been saying that you are saving your goodie boxes for Christmas. They are now sold out. They went so quick this year, really quick. Which is good and bad in one way. Bad if you were waiting to get a hold of it. Good if you were trying to resist the temptation to buy one. But, they'll be back, I expect, sort of Easter time. Because they come out. Mum used to have some for her birthday. Her birthday was in April, so she always used to have some for her birthday and some for Christmas. It was like one of the easiest presents to buy her, no thinking, and it was going to still be a surprise because it was a surprise to both of us. Yeah, so they'll be back Easter time. And that's not that long away really, is it? And now they've got the shipping sorted as well. So you can have them wherever you are in the world. You don't have to miss out, which is good. We'll use the dotty tape pen on this smaller piece, I think. This one. Okay. Okay, so that's what we're looking at the moment. That's what we've got. So this piece here, now what I need to do is bring in the topper. So let's go back to our pad. I'm going to pop my little dog out. And I'm going to be using all of the frames on this because I don't want to be matting and layering behind there. I think I'm going to snip out this border as well to have a Pawsome Christmas. So that's going to go across the bottom, that's going to go across the top. Do I want anything else? No, I'm going to save those. Actually, I might take this little paw print button. Let's have that. Okay. So because I want this to be, see, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get away without matting and layering this, because I've either got to have it like so, and then that's going to be really low on my card. I don't want it to be quite so low. Okay, let me just take, I'm going to take about an inch off it. So this is now 10 by 3.5 really. If you are looking to remake that. And I'm going to bring in a piece of gold mirror, and I'm matting and layering it like I didn't want to. So we're going to take this to 3.5 minus 2 notches by 5 minus 2 notches. And we'll get rid of that piece there. And if I bring back the book, what I'm going to do, I think, is maybe go in with the green stripes. Just double checking. Those greens. Let's have a look. Do they all go? Yeah, I'm going to use that one. So I could have brought in the darker green, but then this one is going to stand up a little bit more. So we need to go to 3 1/4 and I'm keeping these stripes going the same way by 4 3/4, if you see what I mean. So they're all going at that same diagonal. You can mix it up if you want to. Let's just pop tape pen. And so this is very much more less planned, this video, because obviously I had spent my time planning the other one. So this is quite a short notice sort of thing, but it is coming together. So this is why I'm sort of changing. Well, I still do with this anyway, but this is why I'm changing as I'm going along. Okay. And then that one's going to go onto there. Now if I bring in some red liner tape, and I want a piece on the front and a piece for the back. And that's the front. So just remember, at the front you've only got 1 inch to stick it to. At the back we've got 3 inches, although we are going to be going just a little bit off. Let's save that piece for a moment. So let's just figure this out. So I want this to go, so let's put it onto my mat at the 6 by 12, 3, 4, 5. So we need to be about 1.5 in, don't we? 1 1/4 in. And we are going to come down a little. So if I pop this, I'm not gluing it yet. You could measure these out if you want to, but I'm thinking that's about 1 1/4. And then I'm just going to come up a little bit. And then of course it's all going to move. Just make sure that looks straight-ish. Probably made this look a lot harder than it needed to be. But we're just going to take that red liner tape off. A little bit of all-purpose there. This bit is easy because you just pop that down, and then we've got our little faux stepper coming over the top. Now we've got our little border which has our sentiment on. So if I grab my trimmer again, oops, and I will just straighten that off there and cut this down to 5 3/4. I'm going to have that coming all the way along the bottom there. So this little piece you can still make a little flag out of or something like that. So let's, yeah, that's better. So that's going to go up. Let's put our border on first of all, and I think I'm just going to go with some 1mm foam pads. I'm hoping these will just fit like so, and then if I pop that onto there, hopefully that should be flattish because we've got those 2 layers of cardstock, and we do. And we're going to use our purple glue stick. There's a new glue pen as well they were showing today, previewing, sort of whetting our appetite for it. So It looks a bit like the Quickie glue pen, so that looks like a lot of fun. So that's our little border on. And then of course we can go up to the 6 inches, so I can go a little higher. Let's see what it looks like with that piece removed. I was going to keep it in, wasn't I? But let's see, I think with this green it's going to look really nice with it not. Let's pop this over. Oh yeah, that's better. Yeah, I like that. And then we can have this over here on one side. I might have it just coming up. No, I won't. I'm going to pop it there. Okay, let's bring in our 2mm foam pads again. And again, I'm just going to pop it down these edges. Just get rid of that one. And pop a little bit along the bottom as well. So if you're new to my channel, I do apologise. Today's video is a lot more chaotic than usual due to the first video going crazy, not working. Okay, let's just make sure we don't go over that 6 inch, so we can still get it in a 6x6 envelope. There we go. Need to just move you over just a tad. Come on, that's it. There we go. And then this one, I think I'm going to go flat with this one. Let's just pop some glue dots on the bottom, just so this doesn't go wandering. Oh, might have gone a little high with the glue. Let me just get some of that off, because it will just rub it away. Just forgotten that was not supposed to go over the top. But we can pop that in. Again, use that frame if you need a bit of guidance. And then if I press those glue dots down, that's going to keep that in place. This one, I think I'm going to go with a 1mm foam pad. So we've got a little bit of height, but not too much at the back there. Just tuck that under like so. Now, if you wanted something else on there, what you could do is come in with the little shaped book of sentiments, which at the risk of things falling down, let's have a little look and see. We've got a ho ho ho. Do quite like that. For a special lady, candy cane wishes, mistletoe kisses, 'tis the season to be jolly, Santa's on his way, lots of love at Christmas. Do you know, I'm going to go with this one. Oops. Just ease that out. Always use the scissors. Let's see where I've got a bit of white there. Let's just put that on there. Hopefully it's not going to fall. Like I say, there is a pile of stuff now there. And what I'm going to do is just pop this onto this frame here. I think I'm just going to go with a little 1mm along the bottom, just so it pops away a little bit. And again, this wasn't planned, it came into my head, so we might as well do it. peel these off super carefully. I'm going to use tacky glue on this one. Does the same as the purple glue stick. And there we go, we can pop that along there. And then lastly, of course, lastly, we're going to go with some gems. And I think I am going to go with gold again, these real nice shiny ones, if I can get into them. Uh-oh. There we go, it's coming, it's coming. And I think I want one. Let's see, there's a small one. And then I'm going to have that one on this side. Okay. So I'm just going to pop. And obviously these are serving suggestions, and I've kind of done them on the hoof. You'll have a little bit more time to sit and play, make things right. If you want to change anything, obviously you can. But this is just what we've come up with today. That is going to be our card number 2 for this video. Card number 4 of the day. Let's get that cleaned up and that away. Let's just turn that around so you can see. Got our little ho ho ho. It opens like so. It is a little hard to write in, have to be honest, but it can be written in by putting an insert in there, or you can write on your insert and then stick it in. That could be the way to go with these sort of cards. But that is card number 2. Let's bring it down so you can see that nicely. Actually, not a bad card, that one. Quite like that. But there is card number 2. Let's bring it in card number 1 of this video, which was our inverted stepper, or reverse stepper as I call it. I'll also bring in the other cards I did today. So I cut away the image on that one and just pop that up for that piece on earth. That was card number 1 of the original video. And then I did this twisted easel with that insert, although you can't really see the shepherds there. That was that one. And another card just to show you, I don't know if any of you have these Spellbinders advent calendar. This is the little die that was in die number 1 yesterday, and I just made that little card up. This is Hunkydory A5 marble pad, and I've just used the Crafter's Companion sparkle pen over it just to give that marble a shimmer. The Timu gems. I think this frame is postage rectangle. I'm not sure if that's discontinued. This little I Woof You comes with the die. So cute. And the hearts there is a stencil from December 2024, stencil of the month. But those are my cards. Those are going to be what's going up on Pinterest and such, and Facebook. Like I say, apologies, it's been a bit haphazard today, more so than usual. Hopefully I'll be a little bit more calm, cool and collected next time. But I'm definitely coming back with that book. And then if the other book's in stock that I got with it, the classic, more classic traditional one, I'll do a couple of cards from that as well. And that will keep us going until the end of the week. But thank you so much for watching and bearing with me. Take care of yourselves, and until next time, happy crafting. Bye.